giving you the mastery and self-control so all discord is forever closed out of your world, that you with your faces to the mighty I Am Presence, the power of all life, go forth the dauntless ambassadors of light. I thank you. October 16, 1938. Chicago, Illinois. Beloved students of the light, since one of the three greatest and most vicious vortices of destructive activity in and over your city has been dissolved, I wish you to come with me tonight. Come into my heart. Come into the radiance which is mine. Come into the victory which is mine. Come into the victory which I have known throughout the centuries, because I have forgotten there was anything in the world but the victory of the light. Come with me into the garden of my heart. That is a very large garden, and many of you have been within our garden although you do not as yet retain the memory of it. Therefore, what is there? Victory, life, the most powerful action and presence of divine love, free of course from all human qualities, charged with the power which you need. While the messenger is voicing my words to you tonight, allow me to charge into your worlds my victory, so you too may go forth from this room tonight, feeling definitely the power of the victory of your light. That is why I give you my victory, for my 149. Victory is light, the conscious use of that mighty power of light, the greatest in the universe. How and why? I have so long been the power of victory, that the great cosmic light has given me that name. Many have not known this, but my great teacher, the mighty Sanat Kumara, for 4.5 million years has watched over your earth. 70 years seems a considerable time, does it not, in the human octave? But not so in those great octaves of light. Therefore, you have been fortunate to receive the love of your sister planet, which has been your great godmother, Venus. Her light has always poured its radiance to the earth, consciously projected by ascended beings there. Had it not been for that, your earth would have vanished long ago. This great presence, Sanat Kumara, is soon to leave your earth, and I mean by that within 100 years. Therefore, I ask you tonight, beloved students, be kind enough to convey this everywhere. While you have the opportunity, pour your love and adoration to the greatest benefactor of the earth, the greatest ever known to the earth or whoever will be known. Tonight, I have invited you into the garden of my heart. We shall enter into the perfection which is there, which belongs to you who love the light. Do you realize, beloved ones, what it means to adore the light? To adore your mighty I Am Presence, God. Individualized? When you do that, you have entered through the doorway into the great light. Before I continue, I want you to know that your great and mighty love released to the light and to the messengers tonight, enabled us to finish the dissolving of this one of three of the greatest, most vicious vortices of destruction in your America, so there are but two left. Remember, when the messengers were in Seattle, we did not tell them, but a mighty seething vortex of destruction was destroyed in the western part of your America. This means to you, beloved ones of America, that half of those vortices have been dissolved and consumed and will be no more. I say this for your encouragement, for your strength in the final victory which I trust is very near at hand. Will you not continue to pour forth that mighty love to life, to light, so we can say to you either at the beginning or at the close of the Christmas Shrine class, that the victory for America is won? It seems quite possible at this time. You of Chicago in this class do not yet realize what your great call for the return of the messengers, your great and mighty love which has poured out, has meant in the dissolving of this vortex to which I referred. Rejoice with me. Now then, I encourage you, beloved students of Chicago and vicinity, because you will go forward with much greater speed, power, and ease than you have had, very much greater, for we are placing a guard over you here. That is the first time a city has had a special guard. According to your sincere acceptance of that, will you be released from many things. Therefore, we rejoice extremely with you. Won't you be seated? I am talking very deliberately to you tonight, for I want to render a service which will be everlasting in your worlds of action. I would rejoice if you could sometimes see these inner activities of the great, the mighty law and power of life. You all must know and remember that all the purifying, cleansing activity and all perfection must outpicture and first be accomplished in the mental and feeling world of the individual, before it outpictures in the body. You have all noticed that after very violent irritation with some individuals, the body will be covered with blotches of irritation. So the conditions within the Earth's atmosphere have irritated and disturbed mankind more than you will ever know, for we have seen so many kindly, loving people suddenly become very irritated and disturbed. They could not tell why, but it just was there. That is because in an unguarded moment they had opened themselves to the mass accumulation. That is why. You cannot quite realize or understand the importance of calling your I am presence to establish its tube of light about you. My dear ones, do you not realize even with all the messengers have said to you, your tube of light is an invincible power of protection, shutting out all disturbed conditions of mankind's creation about you? Please, won't you feel that? Will you not call the presence into action to establish it and keep calling, until you feel the full force of that invincible protection about you? Every one of you can do it. It does not matter even if you are here for the first time, as you observe that chart and make the call, you can have it because it is the power of life acting, and if you will keep yourselves harmonious enough. There is no reason why you should not have it at once, for all you call the mighty I am presence to produce in, through, around, and about you, is done at once. Now what do I mean by this special guard which is placed about you in your city here? It is to keep shut out any of that destructive activity which has been acting here so long. So many individuals, after the call has been made to seize and bind the entities which have been disturbing them, because of the habit in the atomic structure or belief, still accept that they are acting. Now, when you are informed by the messengers that a condition has been removed, it has been removed right then. So train yourselves to accept that in the fullness of your feeling. So much depends upon your controlling your feeling. Beloved ones, your feeling world is your powerhouse, and since you must have everything that manifests come through your feeling world first, you must understand the vital importance of harmony maintained in your feeling world. So the power of life's mighty action as it comes forth in its greater intensity at your call, carries no part of your human qualification or clothing of discord. There are 12 people in this room tonight who, in 30 days, could make the light through their bodies visible. If I were to tell you who they were, the rest of you would not try. Since it might be any of you, you all had better try. Remember, beloved ones, I trust you have accepted my invitation, for in my garden, the garden of my heart, is perfect happiness. Do you know, not one in this room knows what happiness really is? You might say to me, yes, I think I do, but I would have to disagree with you. There is not one in this room but these two beloved messengers, who has yet come to know a slight experience of what real happiness means, for only will you know that, after you have held your feeling world in perfect poise and harmony over a certain length of time. Then you will begin, in that perfect harmony of feeling, to know what real happiness is, then no condition of the outer world will disturb you or irritate you. Then will my happiness begin to find action and expression in you. When I sometimes move among the students and mankind, when I hear people in discussion, see their thoughts and feelings, and they think, how could there be an ascended master who is tangible when we have believed all there was right out here, what we could see in the physical world? If that were true, beloved friends, it would be a travesty on life. One short span of life for mankind to reach perfection would be the most childish, foolish thing that ever was in their minds. You live again, and again, hundreds and thousands of embodiments, similar to these. Once you begin to understand that, then you will begin to understand more of the reality of life. I ask you to kindly observe this chart as I am speaking to you, and never again as your future depends on it, let your attention go anywhere but to that I am presence of life for everything you require. The wisdom of that presence will take care of personalities in the human octave, but what you want to do is to call to that I am presence and look nowhere else for it. Then will you come to know its mighty answer so quickly. The life which beats your heart is the most powerful thing in the universe. You who want health, my dear ones, turn with the intensity of love and power to that mighty presence of life, and refuse to accept any other appearance in your bodies or your world. Stand with the power of that infinite light. Let its mighty currents charge through your bodies like a mighty river, sweeping out everything but the perfection of life which flows in, cleansing and purifying. If you will use the violet consuming flame, beloved ones, call your presence to do it for you, how quickly you will prepare the way. Your call to the presence of life, finding no obstruction there, will fill and charge your bodies, your feeling worlds with its great and mighty perfection. Then you will understand what it means to feel my victory. Beloved ones, the privilege is yours. As long as you waver in your feelings, you will find obstruction in your way, for you in your feelings put it there. Since you know that is not the thing to do, then guard your feelings with self-mastery and self-control. Do you understand, beloved ones, that your call to the presence of life must mean your balance of self-control in the human octave? How can you expect the presence in your call to pour forth its harmony, freedom, and perfection if you will not give obedience to life, or if you will not give obedience by self-control in your feelings? You are calling to life. Life is answering, but your fluctuating feeling will change your feeling and still give power to the appearance world in numerous ways. Then how can you have the perfection of the presence quickly? What I want to do tonight is to help you to have this perfection come quickly. In your presence, there is no time nor space, and you have observed these 10 days have passed like a breath. When your attention is upon the I am presence and power of life, you forget your bodies and you forget time, and that is what the human mind needs to do. It needs to forget those bodies long enough to let the power of life flow in and charge them with its health, strength, and perfection. Beloved ones, as you have heard your beloved Lotus say to you, body consciousness is the thing that binds mankind. Therefore, if you want freedom quickly, take your mind off your bodies. Put it on your I am presence, making the call to your presence, then keep your mind off the body once you have called the presence into action to produce results there, even if you have to look at the stars. A little training will make it quite easy for you, and whatever the struggle has been in the past, will not be in the future. I tell you, as I have observed, beloved students, that this one point is most vital to every one of you to understand. That you must hold the balance of self-control in your feelings in your call to the presence of life, to produce its perfection for you. Please do not forget it. Remind yourselves daily of that need, then we can give you greater assistance. Therefore, tonight, the greatest service is being rendered in your mental and feeling worlds and your physical bodies, which has ever been rendered in a class thus far. If you awaken in the morning and say to yourselves or someone else, I don't feel any different. I wonder just what he was talking about. I should have had a miracle by the time I awakened this morning. You only delay the miracle. If you haven't had it, don't say that, don't feel it. Go on accepting the miracle, and then see how great will be the outpicturing. We are very practical individuals. You might not believe that. If we had not been, we would not be free. That is why you see the messengers so natural, so very practical, and when there was erased from their consciousness the feeling of any mysticism of life, what a release it was. In many of the teachings of mankind, mysticism has been instilled into their consciousness, until they are constantly looking for something mysterious which they have to slip around the corner to find. They look behind the curtain to see if it is there. Don't do that. Look here, to the greatest power and intelligence in the universe, your own mighty I am presence. Let me verify your beloved messenger. When he describes that chart to you and that mighty activity of the ascension, I want you to know, I made the ascension just exactly as he describes, and every other ascended being has made it like that also. Your beloved Jesus left an example to the earth, the etheric record of the ascension, which record no other ascended master has ever made. Yet everyone's ascension was made in the same, the identical manner. My dear ones, in your feeling world is the record of everything which has ever been thought, felt, or spoken. We read it like a book. Therefore, I say to you, in giving obedience to life, when the messengers are compelled sometimes to correct mistakes, don't have resentment or self-pity. I tell you, beloved ones, self-pity is one of the most deadly activities acting within mankind. Watch that it never acts within you. I say for your strength and encouragement, this beloved messenger who is voicing my words to you, up until he was 23 years old, had it so tremendously, and see him today. It should be convincing to every one of you that any quality which is within your world that should not be there, you can cause to be removed, and quickly. So tonight, let all enter into the fullness of all this great perfection which is just waiting and ready any moment to come forth. So let me encourage you. Never say to an individual, beloved students or group leaders, I do not think you are ready. Don't do that. You cannot tell. Outwardly you don't know. Individuals who sometimes seem so very timid and almost helpless in the outer, have a very great expansion of the light. So never say to anyone, you are not ready for this light. Beloved ones, I have taken so-called drunkards who were wallowing in the alleys of your cities, and have stood beside them, and by the projection of a light ray from my heart and my hand, have dissolved and consumed within 10 minutes. The seething vortex of accumulation which had placed those human forms in that condition, I tell you, beloved ones, you could not imagine the so-called miracles which are performed by the thousands every month upon your earth, of which the outer world never hears. Let me tell you, the power of light and those mighty light rays, once understood, are freedom to every human being who exists. You can call your I Am Presence to project one of those light rays, which is self-luminous, intelligent substance, to a person, place, or condition and hold it there sustained, and the result is as certain as you breathe a breath from one moment to another. Feel that. And please contemplate it, until you gain the full conscious victory of it in your feeling. Then when you call those mighty light rays to render you a service, you will find after a little experience, there will come instantaneous action at your call. With the messengers, thousands of calls have been answered instantly in the past 6 months. Therefore, we want you to come into this full feeling so you do not have to wait, as was the old idea in metaphysical teachings, that you had to go through a certain period of growth, or you had to bring yourself up to a certain point of understanding. My dear ones, observe that chart again. And see the wisdom of eternity which is beating your hearts. That presence does not have to wait. The only waiting which is required is for you to determine that you will establish complete harmony within your feelings. Then there will not be another moment's waiting for anything which the perfection of life holds for you, and which it will bring forth at your call. Remember, your call is imperative. Therefore, you sitting here tonight, are the victory of light. Why do you suppose I offered that mighty activity to you then? Because you are the victory of light, and because I so decree it by the power of your own life, into action now and forever sustained. Will you accept it with the same firmness and power of determination with which I give it to you? Please be seated. Now before I close, just a word about your beloved Saint Germain. You cannot in the wildest imagination conceive what he has accomplished in the past 3 months in Europe and in America. Do you realize how you have given him the substance and the power for which he has waited 400 years to accomplish certain things in Europe? Mankind has talked of brotherly love throughout the centuries. That is the manifestation of it. I ask you to observe, even with the conditions which are existing today in your America, before 1 year is over, with your maintained calls, with the ever-increasing numbers which are being added, will you place your America in a position of invincibility? I sometimes have longed to tell you certain things, but Saint Germain thinks it is not wise, but along your coasts, if you saw the wall of light which has been established around your America by these mighty calls of 600,000 people, you would rejoice as never before in your entire experience of all embodiments. Now please understand, beloved students, this power of light which you call forth as the answer from your presence, is the substance of light. It is not just a principle. It is the substance of light. Then don't you see how powerful and all-penetrating it is? And that is how also, if you only really understood it, you could cleanse and purify your bodies in 24 hours. Thousands of the I Am students, in the next few months, will come to this power of consciousness and understanding in the acknowledgement of their I Am presence, where they will find themselves doing it. I say to the beloved doctors, please don't be dismayed, because you will find plenty of other occupation. Now just one more word concerning your industries. Much has been withheld from mankind because of the vast wealth invested in cumbersome machinery. It has produced magnificent results, no question about that, but there stands before you today, simple, Marvelous machinery by which you could produce so much greater results with so much greater speed that you would be astonished. It is the same way with your aerial transportation. Waiting to come forth are these magnificent ships which gather their power from the atmosphere, and they are not weighted down with loads of gas and fuel. The electricity you are using today is quite wonderful. It gives you light, heat, comfort, and power, but I say, standing in the atmosphere of this room are electric currents so much more powerful than the dynamos in your power stations are able to generate, that there is no comparison. These currents are in the atmosphere of this room and everywhere. Of course, now you know better, but many people will say there is no music in this room, yet if you place a radio in here, there are all kinds of music, and by turning the dial you will find all kinds of music. Mankind are soon coming to know the powers of the air. Why do you suppose recently another great being came forth, who is the god of the air? Because of the destruction that has been projected upon your aerial transportation. The god of the air has come forth to stop that thing forever from your America. I say to mankind, you cannot much longer withhold these mighty discoveries which are all ready to come into action. As the cosmic light releases more and more, it will compel mankind to allow these magnificent blessings to be released, regardless of how much wealth has been accumulated. Mankind, because they have accumulated vast wealth, try to hold the control of outer conditions because of that wealth, and prevent the bringing in of greater perfection to mankind. Soon the cosmic light will say to individuals, now you can no longer do this, and they will be compelled to submit. Please understand, beloved mankind, that in the incoming perfection, no person can be deprived of anything unless that one gains something greater in its place. Because of the limited consciousness of mankind, tremendous wealth has been invested in cumbersome machinery. But that machinery has been required to produce results thus far. But if a machine costing $100,000 could be replaced and do more perfect work, greater work for $1,000, would it not improve and bless mankind extremely? There was a great reason for individuals' accumulation of wealth. That time is past or largely passing. Therefore, the even distribution will begin to take place through very natural means, and those who have thought to corner the wealth of the world will just be mistaken in their judgment and plans. Why do you suppose the great, vast flood of gold came to your America? Because it belongs here. Because the radiation from pure gold is one of the most tremendous things in the outer activity of mankind, and gold held within and for a selfish purpose will one day release itself. You do not know it, but gold is intelligent. It is the one substance which cannot be changed. You can put it into a solution. You can vaporize it, yet when you return it to its solid state, it is the same. It is the power of the great central sun placed within the earth to hold balance in connection with the great central sun, for the blessing of mankind. It is a condensed sun ray from the great central Sunday. That is why it cannot be changed. Oh, that mankind one day awaken and understand these simple, majestic truths concerning life, concerning nature, concerning themselves. I clothe you with the substance from the garden of my heart, self-luminous, intelligent substance, and I have woven that garment about you tonight. Will you do me the honor of wearing it in memory of this night, so you may feel my victory and be reminded of it often, so if anything confronts you, you will not quail before it, but in the memory of my victory you will stand dauntless and say to that appearance world, no longer have you power. My victory is here in full dominion. Be thou gone hence, forever. Is that not wonderful to contemplate? That which has terrified you in the past, no longer has power to do that, but in your memory of my victory, you shall stand dauntless before the appearance world. As you sweep your hand before you, know that the mighty legions move before you, to make perfect your way. I thank you, beloved ones of the light. December